Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to Anuj Jindal. Welcome to RBI 247 session. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Anushka. Good evening, Afsana. Good evening, Abhishek. Tell me, is everything is fine with the audio and the video so that we can start with the session? Quickly confirm that everything is fine with the audio and the video. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Let's begin with our session. In this session, we have four news with us. Okay, the first one is regarding the floating rate bond for 2033. ठीक है? So this is the name of the bond. So we are going to understand what are these floating rate bonds and what is the right, we can say, the interest rate set by the RBI recently. Then we have WMA limit set by the RBI for the first half of financial year 26. We are going to understand the limit, what is WMA scheme, and all such things we are going to include in this session. And then we have some guidelines related to unclaimed deposits. So basically there was a lot of unclaimed deposits, and we are going to understand what kind of guidelines are going to be implemented from this financial year 26, and we will also read some guidelines as well. Then we have very important fact, which is BHIM 3.0, BHIM Vega and BHIM Vishwas. So this is under the, we can say, under the planning phase, and it is under the, we can say, sandbox phase. So basically they are on trial. So we will run what are these initiatives that are being introduced by the BHIM app and NPCI. Okay. So let's have a look. So RBI set interest rate for the floating rate bond. Now these bonds are government bonds. These are government bonds. Particularly this news is regarding these government bonds which have floating rate. Now as the name tells you that it do not have fixed interest rate that is provided to the bond holder, but it is floating in nature. That means it keeps on changing. Now, what are the variation of such change? This variation of such change is every 6 months. That means every 6 months, this interest rate is revised for these particular bonds, right? Now, this rate for this particular bond named as Government of India floating rate bond 2023 is to be set at 7.81 per annum. Okay, so this is the, we can say, the latest rate that has been set for the 6 month period of March 2022-2025 to September 21-25. So this time period is important, and then this interest rate is very important from phase 1 perspective. Now what is the thing to be understand here is that this interest rate is based on what? This is based on WAY, which is weighted average yield. It is written here that it is based on weighted average yield. Now what do I mean with that? That it is based on 182 treasury bills. Whatever interest rates are being offered, whatever is auctioned in this is averaged for last 3 years. Their auction is average for last 3 years, and based on this the interest rate for this is being decided. Along with this interest rate, in way there is a fixed spread which is added to such interest rate, which is 1.22% in this case. Very important, एक fixed spread जो है वो add किया जाता है in order to offer higher interest rate, or we can say higher return for the bond holder. ठीक है, इन्हें अट्रैक्टिव बनाने के लिए जितना भी अभी करंट ट्रेजरी बिल्स में चल रहा होता है इंटरेस्ट रेट, उससे थोड़ा सा बढ़ा कर देते हैं विद द फिक्स्ड स्प्रेड ऑफ 1.22%. तो यहाँ से भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है दैट व्हाट इज द फिक्स्ड स्प्रेड. So here it is 1.22%. In case you are having any doubt related to what are treasury bills, so basically this is a short-term loans. These are short-term loans, and based on such bills they get short-term loans. Government get short-term loans. Okay. So these treasury bills are issued at discount level. इन्हें discount price पर issue किया जाता है, and then they are bought back by the government at full price. ठीक है. वे अगर आपको निकालना हो, व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर वे इन सच केस, इन केस यू वांट टू नो, तो इंटरेस्ट रेट जो करंट चल रहा होगा इन फ्लोटिंग रेट माइनस द fixed spread that is there. So in case question arises that calculate the way here, then you can calculate it based on the floating rate of the bond and fixed spread. और उसके लिए आपको fixed spread खुद से पता होना चाहिए. It might happen कि उसमें क्वेश्चन में दिया ना हो, तो यहाँ पर आपकी दो तरह से आपका, एक तो आपको कैलकुलेट करके यूज करना है, फॉर्मूला पता होना चाहिए, एंड देन फिक्स स्प्रेड भी आपको पता होना चाहिए. ठीक है, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू यू. So I have added this notification here as well that it was released on March 21, 2025 and it has been set for 7.81% per annum basis. That means पूरे साल का 7.81% है. ठीक है. Here is the second news which is related to WMA, which means ways and mean advances. Ways and mean advances. Now what is advances? Advances are loans. अब यहाँ पर loans की बात हो रही है. अब कौन किसको लोन दे रहा है? RBI is providing loan to the government for short term. It is giving short term loan to government in order to due to a mismatch in the cash flow. So there is some mismatch in the cash flow of the government, and that is the reason the RBI is helping government by providing a short term loan to them. And whatever loan is given by RBI to the government is charged under this scheme. जो interest rate charge होता है, it is repo rate. It is whatever is the current repo rate, it is being charged here. And this WMA limit is pre-decided in nature. It is pre-decided for this year. That means for the first half of financial year 26, it has been decided at rupees 1,50,000 crore. ये बहुत important है. First half financial year 26 के लिए what is the WMA limit set by the RBI for the government is 1,50,000 crore. अब ये भी आपके phase 1 perspective से बहुत important है. पिछले साल phase 2 में आया था. They have asked what is the WMA limit for the second half of the financial year 25 or 24, whatever was the question. So this was regarding the WMA limits particularly. So you must know what is WMA scheme, why it is being provided by the RBI, and what is the current, we can say, limit that has been set by the RBI. अब ये जो limit होती है, that is decided with the consultation with the government. So government and RBI sit together and decide what should be the WMA limit for this financial year, and ये 6 months के basis पे decide किया जाता है. That is for first half of the financial year and the second half for the financial year. So RBI decides the limit for the WMA for the government with consultation with them. So our current limit is 1,50,000 crore and this is for the first half of the financial year. ठीक है, we will read about this. First, let's just understand what is the scheme. This scheme was introduced in 1997 and this was done to overcome the temporary mismatch in the cash flow of the government. Now, this is a short-term loan that is given by RBI to the central and the state government. So the money, whatever loan is being given by the RBI to the government is to be returned in 90 days. Within 90 days. In case it is not returned in the 90 days, then interest rate that will be charged in such case would be repo rate plus 2%. So that would be an expensive deal for the government, and this is the reason that they are being asked to return the money in 90 days. In case they overdraft means that they have extended the timeline, this timeline of 90 days, they will be charged 2% more for the interest rate. Okay. Now, let's have a look on the types of the WMA. So there are two types of, we can say, WMA. So one is special drawing facility, and then we have WMA. In case the government have exhausted this SDF, then they come to normal WMA. If we talk about the SDF, it is collateral based, and the interest rate that is being charged under the SGF is 1% less than the repo rate. So once this SDF is being exhausted by the government can go to the WMA, the normal WMA, wherein the 90 days, within 90 days they have to return the money. Okay, and it is being charged. It is decided based on the last 3-year expenditure and revenue of the government. So based on the last 3-year expenditure and the revenue of the government, this WMA limit is being decided by the RBI and the government together. So the same is being written here. Let's talk about this thing. Now they are saying in case the RBI may trigger the fresh flotation of the market loans when GOI utilizes 75% of the WMA limit. Now we know that first they go for SCF. If they exhaust this limit, they can go for WMA. Go for WMA. In case they have also almost 75% of the loan is being used, the limit is being used here by the government, the RBI may issue some securities, some government securities for raising funds. So the third thing, we can say the third stage from where the government can raise the funds here are government securities. Okay, so second news is also done. Let's have a look on the third news, which says that RBI's guidelines for the unclaimed deposits. Now the unclaimed deposits for the financial year at the end of the financial year 24 stands at 78,203 crore. Now this is very important for you all to remember this number. This number is very important. This is showing a 26% increase from the financial year 23. ठीक है, फाइनेंशियल ईयर 23 से 26% का ग्रोथ दिखा रहा है दिस अनक्लेम्ड डिपॉजिट्स. अब अनक्लेम्ड डिपॉजिट्स आर नॉट गुड फॉर द बैंक्स बिकॉज these are not claimed by the actual, we can say, the owner of such funds. Now the RBI, or we can say the banks are, we can say, managing such funds. They are still keeping such funds. Now there is some cost associated with managing such funds, and that is the reason we want these unclaimed deposits to be reduced over the period of time. Now the unclaimed deposits are being, we can say, allocated or raised from two kinds of deposits. The one is inactive account and inoperative account. An inactive account is the one which is not active from last 1 year. That means from last 1 month, from last 12 months, there is no transaction happening in that particular account. We can say that this account is inactive. When the same account stays inactive or inoperative for last 2 years, we will call it as dormant account. Now after this account, after this 2 years, after this period of 2 years, the one who is the we can say the holder of such account cannot conduct any kind of transaction. Now they have to reactivate it in order to conduct any kind of transaction in such account. So there is a need from the depositor to reactivate their account in order to make any kind of transaction in such account. Now if this dormant account stays inoperative from last 10 years, now the whatever funds are there in it are transferred to DEF. DEF is Depositor Education Awareness Fund, which is being maintained by the RBI here. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let's have a look now what were the guidelines. So basically there was a committee that was set by the RBI in order to look at the matter that why there is so many unclaimed deposits in the system, and we want them to be reduced. Now we want them to be claimed by the authentic depositor here. Okay, now they have set some recommendation. Now these were turned into the guidelines, which is going to be effective from 1st April 2025. Now that is the reason that I'm covering it here, because these are going to be effective from April 1, 2025. All the regulated entities are going to implement all such regulations for the financial year 26, and that is the reason that we are covering it here, because this can be asked in your examination. Phase 2, phase 1 mein aa sakta hai. So here we are. So what are the guidelines that are being issued by the RBI for the same? Now they are saying that unclaimed deposits are to be published published by each and every bank on their website. On their respective website, they are going to give the details of such unclaimed deposits. Now, this can include the basic account holder information wherein the public search is available, wherein public can search and find whatever unclaimed deposit that they have in a particular bank. Now, the process of claiming the funds, claiming such deposits is going to be simplified. How? Now they are going for a standardized application. That means across public sector banks and private sector banks, they are ensuring that the application for claiming the deposits, it's same across the banks. So they are using one standardized application across all banks. So the declaration will be introduced. Applicants can provide their basic details such as name and mobile number and address in order to claim such funds. The respective bank branch will then verify and process the claim fastly. Then we have uniform documentation. That means whatever set of documentation is required for claiming such fund, it's going to be same. It's going to be same across all bank. This ensures that claimant do not face different requirement at different bank, right? Then we have online retrieval mechanism wherein the RBI Udgam portal is being used, wherein the one person, the depositor or the user can simply find their unclaimed deposits and their account details in such portal. And they can also see that from which bank they have a particular account which is being unclaimed yet. So by financial year 26, a fully operational online system will allow customers to claim their fund. Now all these guidelines are going to be implemented at each and every bank in order to make these unclaimed deposits reduced to a certain level. Okay, so that it is easy for the customers and the users to access their unclaimed deposits. Here we are with the fourth news, which is BHIM 3.0, BHIM Vega and BHIM Vishwas. So basically it is regarding the BHIM app. We know what is BHIM app. BHIM app is a payment, digitalized payment interface. Okay, now this application is being introduced by NPCI, or we can say it is developed by NPCI in 2016. Okay, 2016 it was introduced by the NPCI, and what they are going to do, that this BHIM app is going to be a reference app. This BHIM app, it's going to be a reference app for such sandbox, or we can say for testing ground. So basically in this BHIM app, NPCI is testing various kind of innovation that can be introduced in the UPI interface, right? Now what are these initiatives, or what are these innovations that are being used by the NPCI here? So BHIM 3.0 is the first, we can say, version that is being introduced in the BHIM, and then we have BHIM Vega, and then we have BHIM Vishwas. We are going to understand what are these features. Okay, so the first phase, or we can say the first phase of this BHIM 3.0 will be rolled out in April 2025, which can be we can say कभी भी आ सकता है ये BHIM 3.0. ठीक है, let's have a look कि इसमें क्या क्या features हैं. So basically BHIM is just expanding the new features. Now what is the latest version? The latest version of 3.0 has been introduced and fully launched by April 25, and it is going to support over 15 Indian languages in order to make it more inclusive. Now NPCI want people to use more and more BHIM app. For this, they are including more and more languages to make it more inclusive, financially inclusive, wherein digital payments are easy to be made by each and every person, irrespective of the fact that where and which in what region they live in. What are the key features? The first is family mode. That is, a particular person can handle multiple payments. It can be related to their family members, so that it is easy for a particular person to handle all kind of payment that are related to their family members. Then we have offline functionality. We know we already have one low internet connectivity with UPI Lite and so on and so forth, but we are going to introduce it in the BHIM app as well, wherein they can use the digital payment transaction in a low internet or zero internet area. Improved UI, that means user interface is going to be, we can say, improved by the BHIM app, or we can say by the NPCI here, wherein cleaner interface for better user experience is being introduced here. Then we have cashback. That means if a person uses BHIM app over any other app, they are going to receive some cashback on their transactions, so that this promotes more usage of such app by the users. Then we have BHIM Vega and BHIM Vishwas. Now what happens whenever you make a payment? Whenever you make a payment using a merchant app, मान लीजिए I'm using Myntra app to make payment for a particular good that I have bought from there. Now what happens that it takes me to the interface of UPI. It takes me to the interface of the UPI for making payment. Once I made the payment, they take me back to the Myntra's interface, right? This is how it happens. Now they are saying, now this BHIM Vega and BHIM Vishwas says that we are going to include this UPI interface, or we can say this, we are going to integrate such facility into the merchant's app itself. So instead of taking me to the UPI interface, they are going to include the payment interface in the Myntra app itself. So this is going to be very helpful for the merchant. So a new in-app payment solution. So this is going to be an in-app payment solution that allows merchant to integrate UPI payment. So they are going to integrate such interface in their own merchant app without needing third-party platform. Here third-party platform is Google Pay, Paytm or PhonePe, whatever the case is here. So I hope it is clear. Now the same feature is being introduced in the bank as well. How? Suppose I am using internet banking. The facility of internet banking allows me to make transaction, right? But what internet banking also do, that it takes me to the interface, the payment interface, in order to make a payment. Now the NPCI says that we are going to introduce this BHIM Vishwas. These BHIM Vishwas, wherein they are saying that this interface will be integrated in the bank's brand name. Suppose I am using Bank of Baroda ka internet banking facility. Now this payment integration would be there under the brand name of the Bank of Baroda itself. So that will not take me to the another, we can say, third party. मुझे app में जाना नहीं पड़ेगा, such as PhonePe, Google Pay पे नहीं जाना पड़ेगा in order to make a payment. Okay, so this is all it is. It says that NPCI is developing a system where banks can integrate BHIM's payment tech stack. So they are introducing BHIM payment tech stack into their own mobile app. So suppose there is a mobile app of Bank of Baroda, so that they can use in that itself, instead of developing a separate payment solution. So they can partner with different kind of banks for the trials. Okay. One thing I would like to tell you, that the BHIM Vishwas is a white label solution for banks, and BHIM Vega is in-app payment. So this is the keywords that you have to remember in order to associate with the respective facility. Right? Here we are with the question. The first question says that BHIM, that is Bharat Interface for Money, a digital payment app under the NPCI, will continue to serve as a sandbox testing ground for the UPI innovation. Match the following new BHIM 3.0 with their functionality. Right. B is the right option. RBI, in consultation with the Government of India, sets WMA limit for to help manage short-term mismatch in the government receipt and payment for the first half of financial year 26. Now tell me, what is the WMA limit? बहुत ही आसान है. Right. C is the right answer. That is 1,50,000 crore is the set limit by the RBI. अब ये डायरेक्ट ऐसे कैसे क्वेश्चन उठाकर आ सकता है एग्जाम में, ठीक है. अभी सिंपल लग रहा है, पर उस टाइम पे क्योंकि रिमेम्बरेंस का सारा खेल है एग्जाम में, तो कोशिश कीजिए कि आप याद रखें इसको. अब उस टाइम तक शायद सेकेंड हाफ का भी आ सकता है लिमिट, तो आपको याद रखना है. Yes, the WMA are short-term loans that are provided by RBF to the central and the state government to manage temporary cash flow mismatch. If the government exceeds the WMA limit and does not pay it within the 90 days, it is treated as overdraft, attracting higher interest rate. तो क्या interest rate charge होता है for the WMA and for the overdraft respectively? Right. B is the right option. WMA के लिए repo rate and overdraft के लिए repo rate plus 2%. Question number 4. RBI has introduced new guidelines to simplify the process of reclaiming the unclaimed bank deposits, which currently total over this much crore. Which of the following statement about the RBI's new guidelines is correct? So which of the statement is correct here? Right, Shreya. Right, Raj. Good. Good, everyone. So basically statement 1 and statement 2 is right here. Statement 3 is incorrect, which says that by financial year 26, customers have to claim funds by visiting the branch. तो यहाँ पर branch visiting को कम किया जा रहा है by introducing we can say digitalized form में ही claim करवा सकते हैं आप अपना deposit से. So statement number 3 is incorrect. A is the right option. Option only 1 and 2 statement are correct. Question number 5. The RBI recently announced the interest rate for the GOI FRB 2033 at 7.81% per annum for the period of March 2025 to September 2025. Consider the following statement and tell me which one is the correct. Which one is the correct? There is 4 statement. Tell me which one is correct in this case. This is wrong. It is not fixed. It's floating in nature. The interest rate are floating. And 4 is also incorrect because it is not revised every quarter. It is revised every 6 months. After every 6 months. So basically 2 and 3 is the right option, wherein B is the right option. Right? Good, everyone. Tell me in case you have any doubt. I don't think so कि आज आपके कोई doubt होंगे because the topics are very simple today. Right? Okay, so white label solution is for the BHIM Vishwas. So they are integrating, or we can say they are associating BHIM Vishwas with the white label solution, wherein the banks are using such solution that is being introduced by the NPCI. Neha, yes, we do not cover each and every news in the session because some of the news are very वेल अंडरस्टूड, ठीक है, वो बहुत आसान होती है समझने में, तो हम अवॉइड करते हैं. हम टेक्निकल न्यूज़ को ज़्यादा और जो ज़्यादा वेटेज रखती हैं एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू के लिए उनको ज़्यादा वेटेज देकर हम अपने सेशन में इंक्लूड करते हैं. वी आर गोइंग टू ट्राई दैट मोर एंड मोर न्यूज़ आर बीइंग कवर्ड इन द सेशन इटसेल्फ, ठीक है. Right, so I hope the session was fruitful for you. So keep on preparing for the finance current affairs because these are going to be very important. Phase 1 maybe we have seen ki weightage बढ़ गया है finance current affairs का. That is the reason. Keep on preparing for the finance current affairs. Till then, best of luck and goodbye everyone.